Live from Utah's news leader, Fox 13 News at 9 starts right now.
As we continue to see COVID-19 cases decline, there is a reminder tonight that the virus is still a very real, contagious, and potentially deadly threat. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Amy Ney.
And I'm Brian Schnee. The CDC is reporting that Utah has seen its first case of the P1 COVID-19 variant, commonly known as the Brazilian variant. The P1 variant was first discovered in the U.S. at the end of January. So far, there are at least 54 cases of the P1 variant in the United States.
Now, health officials say while the variants are more contagious and even more deadly, it makes vaccinations all the more important since they have proven to work even against these variants. Now, here in Utah, more and more people are getting their shots. More than 60% of the people over the age of 70 here in Utah are fully vaccinated. And more than numbers for you right now, almost 419,000 people in our state are fully vaccinated, and more than 763,000 people have received at least one dose.
Tomorrow, the Salt Lake County Health Department will begin scheduling COVID-19 vaccinations for all Utahns 16 and older. Appointments can be booked beginning at 9 in the morning. They will be for dates after April 4th because appointments for previously eligible people are booked through the 3rd. We've got links to sign up for the shots at fox13now.com.
In Utah County, people 16 and older have been able to sign up for appointments for a COVID-19 vaccine since Thursday. The Utah County Health Department says this is not out of the ordinary because they open up appointments about a week ahead of time. The Health Department says they are ready to keep up with a high demand for COVID shots.
We feel quite confident about this and about the process that we've been preparing for. We've been making improvements really every day since we've opened up vaccinations in December.
The Utah County Health Department has 3 mass vaccination sites, one in Provo, one in Spanish Fork, and one in American Fork that just opened up in the past week.
The state reported 375 new cases of COVID-19 today, well below our weekly average of 466. 8% of people tested over the past week received a positive test result. 157 people are currently hospitalized due to the virus, 52 of those being in intensive care.
The COVID-19 deaths of 2 Utah men over the age of 65 were reported today in those numbers. The victims were from Washington and Weber counties. Utah has lost 2,062 lives to the virus over the past year.
Following breaking news out of Salt Lake City tonight, firefighters and law enforcement are at a pretty recognizable building at the corner of 8th South and 3rd West for a fire there. Flames have been knocked down since these ones you're seeing on your screen erupted about an hour ago. Here's a live look at the scene tonight. Still very active. One person has been injured in this fire and was actually transported to a local burn unit. The building has a large homeless encampment outside of the perimeter right now. It's also the building you see there with the murals. More than 24 of them have been painted on the side of that building. The fire itself is under investigation tonight. It was a dangerous weekend for Utah Highway Patrol troopers trying to keep drivers and themselves safe.
Now, tonight we have learned that 3 UHP troopers were hit on our local roads this morning. UHP says the colder temperatures iced over a number of local bridges and parts of highways after it rained or snowed for a good part of the day yesterday.
So the biggest thing is speed. We just need to have people slow down. We just don't know where those ice patches are, especially a day after having bad conditions like we did yesterday. Make sure to give yourself enough time.
We know that one trooper was hit by a trailer and pushed into a guardrail. That took place on I-15 near 72nd South in Midvale. The trooper that got the worst injuries involved in a 24-car pileup on I-15 near 5th South while he was directing traffic. While UHP says all injuries sustained today were luckily very minor, the vehicles involved in these crashes were totaled.
This sure was a mixed bag as far as the weather this weekend. You know, we were ringing in spring. We were so excited to have spring come into our area, but boy, Brack, it still feels like winter.
Oh, it does. It feels like it. It looks like it. Of course, we had the snow this morning. That's what caused these difficult travel conditions here, with several accidents earlier starting off all across the Salt Lake, Utah, Tooele County, even into Davis County, as we kept kind of those lake-enhanced snow showers going. And it did pile up. Let's take a look at your snow totals from this weekend storm, where both the valleys and mountains getting into the mix. Park City coming in with almost 9 inches of snow. Heber with 7 inches. Cottonwood Heights, boy, 5 inches of snow. You're having to do some shoveling there. And Springvale with about 4 inches. Most valley locations where we did see the showers, it was an inch or less. But take a look at the mountains, the ski resorts. Oh, there was a lot of fresh powder. Many of you hitting the ski resorts today. How about close to 2 feet of snow at Alta? Things subsiding, showers dissipating, at least right now. It was cold out there though today. Yeah, these are temperatures that we typically experience back in February. We had 40s across the Wasatch Front, 30s in Evanston, only making up into the upper 30s to low 40s through central Utah, and 60s in St. George. Now, skies are clearing out. That means temperatures quickly dropping. We're down into the 30s in Logan, 20s in Evanston through central Utah. We're finding 20s and 30s as we're going to be looking at mostly clear skies tonight, pushing away the storm finally now for southern Utah. A few showers near, looks like Green River along I-70 over towards Grand Junction. Things fairly calm along the Wasatch Front, except as we look in Salt Lake County, still holding on to a few light snow showers moving through Sandy into Draper. All in all, the storm moving away. So for tonight, we're going to be looking at mostly clear skies, temperatures down into the low 30s. Getting ready for our next storm. And we're not only talking about one storm, but we have a couple of storms here for the upcoming week. When do they hit? I'll let you know coming up.
The Harriman Rugby Club is ranked second in the nation and first in the state of Utah. They now need your help.
Their gear trailer was stolen from behind Copper Mountain Middle School right in the middle of the night.
That trailer contained thousands of dollars worth of equipment and, of course, years of memories.
Fox 13's Diego Romo spoke with the team about what happened.
Do things on a shoestring budget, really, to make things work, and just to have everything ripped out from underneath them. It's just a shame.
The trailer was donated to the team just a few weeks ago. Inside was thousands of dollars worth of practice and game gear that was all bought with money the players raised themselves.
A lot of fundraising has sold a lot of oranges and grapefruits and bath bombs and those kind of things, and had a lot of people be very kind to help us out.
Friday at 1:30 in the morning, Copper Mountain Middle School's security cameras captured a white SUV pulling away with the trailer. It was the first time the club had a centralized place to store their gear.
Honestly, I thought it was a joke at first. We joked about it. We thought the school probably moved it or something, but then Jeff came over and told us that someone actually took it. I think he just surprised a lot of us that someone would do that.
Coaches say it's more than just practice equipment. It's 10 years worth of team memories.
Some of it is irreplaceable, to be honest. 2 of the jersey sets that were in there were sets from our very first year.
It's a lot more than just a bunch of equipment that's gone. A lot of memories, so it's kind of sad to see that gone.
Wilson says it will be tough to continue the season without all of the essentials that were in the trailer.
Because of our challenges with funding, those are not all things that we can replace quickly. We can't replace 10 years of stuff overnight.
Rugby clubs from around the country and right here in Utah have offered their support after learning about the theft.
We've heard from rugby people in Seattle, in Boston. The rugby community is a tight-knit community, and a lot of us know each other, and we help each other out.
A GoFundMe page has been set up to help the team raise funds to purchase new gear. So far, they've raised close to $3,000.
We teach the boys about overcoming adversity. Just another blip in the road, and you just got to get through it. Let's just deal with what we have and make it work.
Anyone with information is encouraged to contact the Harriman Police Department, and we'll also link you over to the team's GoFundMe page at fox13now.com. In Harriman, Diego Romo, Fox 13 News, Utah.
The trailer is pretty identifiable. It's a white trailer with the team's logo on the side and the words Outback just behind the passenger's side wheel well. If you see this trailer or any of the equipment, especially those jerseys that have their logo on it, please contact Harriman Police. Caught on camera, a woman and her 2 dogs spent a very cold night in the mountains above Bountiful.
And check out this incredible video of the woman being hoisted off the mountain there in Davis County. She and her 2 dogs spent a very cold night in the Parish Creek area. Now, before the DPS helicopter made this amazing rescue, ground crews were able to locate them.
Our first team that's been on the mountain the whole time They actually found her first puppy and then just found her and her other dog. So we've got 3 patients, 2 dogs, and our patient, and we're warming her up.
Boy, glad she is going to be okay. Once everybody made it to the trailhead at the bottom, there was a happy reunion with the woman and her dogs.
Lots more ahead on Fox 13 News at 9. Coming up, talk about an unforgettable reunion in the Cache Valley. See the moment where a group of teens come together to say thank you to the firefighters and Good Samaritans that saved their lives.
Plus, more live music returning to southern Utah. We're going to show you the packed house at Tuacahn coming up.
As things are starting to reopen, restaurant owners are facing a new struggle. What's holding them back, plus how you could benefit.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight. As more people get vaccinated against COVID-19 and the restrictions are loosening, restaurants are getting a bit busier.
In tonight's Rebound Report, Fox 13's Sydney Glenn shows us how the influx of customers is giving restaurant owners a new challenge.
Restaurant owners like the owners here at Ochre in downtown Salt Lake City tell us they are anxious to get their dining rooms back fully open and full of people. The issue now is, though, they have to make sure they have enough staff to do it. It's been quite the year.
Interesting. I would write a novel, actually, at this point. I think it's kind of funny. You've learned a lot, you've been through a lot.
It's been a year of survival for many in the restaurant industry, including the owners of Ochre.
Staffing's been difficult, just getting even resumes.
Now that more people seem to be open to dining in, Andrew Fuller says the search for staff is even more important.
I think part of that is that people are still getting their unemployment checks. I've had applicants say that to me straight up.
Over at Lizzie's Kitchen, the owner is facing the same issue.
We're getting a lot of people in here, which we're so grateful for, but we don't have enough people to work.
The owner of Lizzie's Kitchen says they can't keep up with customer demand. He says the restaurant industry needs workers to come back.
I think what the problem is, people don't realize how well economically or how sound economically the state of Utah is and how well the industry is performing.
It's been a year of changing.
Everyone in 2020 had an identity crisis.
And adapting.
Things where we used to be a sit-down table side, we now do counter service.
And now it's time to do it all again.
There's no point in expanding in sales if we don't have the right people to actually do this correctly.
The president of the Salt Lake Area Restaurant Association says industry-wide, from the kitchen to the dining room, restaurant owners are really having a hard time finding staff right now. In downtown Salt Lake City, Sydney Glenn, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Sydney, thanks so much. Well, today, in honor of Women's History Month, Utah Jazz star Donovan Mitchell took over the team's Instagram page to talk about the strong women who influenced his life, and that includes his mother and his sister. Take a look.
To see my mother engaging with, obviously a bunch of women in color, seeing people who look like me, act like me, all that, being around the families, I think is something that I think is truly special.
Donovan also talked about what it meant to meet Kamala Harris and the excitement of getting introduced his sister to the first female vice president. If you'd like to see the entire interview, just head on over to fox13now.com.
Despite the coronavirus pandemic, Tuacahn Center for the Arts in St. George is packing the house. These people turned out for a Starship concert featuring Jefferson Starship original member Mickey Thomas. As you can see, almost a sellout. Almost everyone wore a mask. Tuacahn canceled the 2020 Broadway summer season, but it's been hosting shows since October.
We worked with state and local commissioners to be able to draft a very comprehensive COVID policy that allowed us to open at full capacity inside the amphitheater.
Good to see live music back and kicking here. Masks are required, but shoulder-to-shoulder seating is allowed. He joked that people in rural Utah are a little bit more relaxed when it comes to their concept of the pandemic. This weekend was perfect for local skiers, Amy.
Yeah, fresh snow at the resorts on the 2 days of the week that most people have off. The number of skiers has actually dropped a bit since the President's Day holiday, but resorts get busy when that snow falls. At Brighton, the plan is to keep the resort there open for skiing and snowboarding until April 18th.
We'll definitely stay open till then. If we get lucky, maybe we'll stay open a little bit later, and that just depends on if there's still good snow and plenty of interest from people wanting to go ski it.
Well, I think with the crowds, people want to go skiing and get every last turn in. As for the pandemic, Jared Winkler says Brighton will finish the season the same way that they started, by requiring employees and visitors to wear masks. That will be the policy at Brighton, even after the statewide mask mandate is lifted on April 10th.
I heard it filled up fast there at Brighton this morning. The parking lots were full before long at all. People were ready to get up and hit that new powder.
I feel like that was the case across the state, too. Lots of places got snow, Breck.
Oh, they did. Yeah, when you get the amounts that we saw, anywhere from a foot to 2 feet of snow, you're just licking your chops, want to hit that fresh powder. And it seems the storms that we've been getting here throughout the winter season, even though it was late, kind of fall close towards the weekend. So that opportunity to get up there, you're taking advantage of it. And we're going to see more snow. We saw it today. A view from our time lapse in Intermountain camera in Murray, highlighting that throughout the morning. We saw the snow both in the valleys and the mountains, and we kind of saw it coming in waves, coming actually off the lake with a little bit of lake effect snow bands that had its impact across the Salt Lake Valley, but down through Utah County, Davis County as well. Keeping temperatures definitely colder, that cold northwesterly flow, allowing afternoon highs only to reach up into the low 40s, where on average we should be in the mid 50s. Record high set back in 2017 at 75 degrees. That's the spring weather that you want to see. We won't see it across northern Utah, but potentially in St. George over the next 7 days, we do see 70s in the forecast. But a couple of bumps in the road, at least for northern Utah. 2 storms to talk about. Let's look at your current conditions where we've got temperatures in the 30s, Salt Lake City, Ogden, and Provo, and even some light snow showers with a view from our Old Mill camera in Cottonwood Heights, where we're holding on just to a few light flurries and then finally letting go of this storm. But we're going to be looking at a break here for tomorrow across the state. It's short-lived, though. Next storm hitting tomorrow evening, initially coming across northern and central Utah, but tracking further southward overnight Monday into Tuesday. And this brings a chance, once again, of a mixture of rain and snow across the state. And it's scattered showers that we'll be looking at. Now, right now, as mentioned, as we turn across the state, the clouds are peeling away, showers dissipating. We're seeing maybe a few light showers moving along I-70 in between Grand Junction and Green River. Wasatch Front, as I said, we're seeing just a few flurries right now. Sandy, Draper, this situation, though, with the storm moving on, that drier air tracking through. But again, our next storm lining up with the cold front that's going to hit again tomorrow evening. And ahead of that, we'll start to see winds picking up a little bit come tomorrow afternoon. Clouds increasing, but the showers will hold off until the early evening hours on Monday. Let's confirm that looking at the computer models, where again for tonight we're going to be looking at mostly clear skies. Waking up tomorrow morning, no concerns for your Monday morning commute. We don't have the snow, we don't have the ice. It's going to be dry out there, and we'll keep it that way throughout most of the day on Monday. But again, clouds coming in into the afternoon. Could start seeing some mountain showers for the afternoon commute, but the valleys look to stay dry. Cold front reaches us, though. It looks like by tomorrow between 9, 10 o'clock, and then we start seeing that shower impact overnight. Look at the colors. It's all blue, which means with the overnight hours and those colder temperatures, it's going to start off bringing snow, both for the valleys and the mountains. And then the focus turns towards central and southern Utah on Tuesday, and then it moves away as we head into Wednesday. So another storm, and it doesn't look like it's going to bring as much snow for the mountains. We're talking about a range between 4 to 8 inches. And then for central mountains, anywhere between 3 to 6 inches. Now, we're going to be looking at mostly clear skies for tonight. Temperatures dipping down into the 20s and 30s. Tomorrow, it's still on the cool side. Partly cloudy skies, but again, we see those clouds increasing, and we hold off to those showers until the evening. Now, as we take a look, not that we want to show you our ski report, let's actually show you the 7-day forecast, where as we look for St. George, we're going to be looking at sunny skies tomorrow, some rain on Tuesday, and then it clears out quite nicely. There are your 70s, but we wait until the weekend before we get to see those. Northern Utah, we've got the storm on Tuesday. Wednesday, it's clear. Another storm on Thursday, keeping it active, keeping it cool, back into the 60s by Sunday. So as spring rolls around, we're also bringing the showers to go along with it.
I think it'd be a fun experience, lots of learning, because I've never done anything like this before.
Coming up, some Utah students getting some pretty unique training. See why they are building their own boat and the extra challenge they'll face once that boat is finished.
Thanks so much for joining us on this Sunday night here at Fox 13. We're glad you're here. Rowing a self-built boat 70 miles in 48 hours would be tough for an experienced boater, let alone somebody who has never stepped foot on one.
But that isn't stopping some brave Utah students from creating their own craft and preparing to wade into some frigid waters in Washington State.
Brave souls. Fox 13's Max Roth shows us an after-school program that's challenging some students to become a boating crew.
This year, some lucky and brave students for the Utah School for the Deaf and Blind are going on a unique adventure.
It is a 70-mile race on water, and you have 48 hours to complete it.
Landon Pierce is one of those students who are not only going to be racing a boat, but they're also working with classmates to build the boat that they will be living on for 2 days.
We want to see them arrive at a sense of accomplishment. We want them to see something all the way through, from just putting the boards down, drawing on those, cutting them up, canoes, to an actually made boat that they helped build.
Adam Billings created this after-school program and helped put together the 10-person crew of students.
I've been sailing since I was 16.
He knows a thing or two about sailing since he's a tall ship captain.
I want it to be something that they don't understand, they're a little hesitant about, because that's where growth is happening.
I think it'd be a fun experience, lots of learning, because I've never done anything like this before. Get to meet people, make new friends, and learn a little bit about boat making.
When they're done with the boat, the students will be traveling to Washington State to compete in the 70-48. They will have 2 days, 48 hours, to row from Tacoma, Washington to Port Townsend, 70 miles. Each day, as the students get closer to their goal, they're learning valuable skills and sneaking in a bit of physical activity.
It's been a fun experience working on the boats, being able to see what goes into it and how you do it.
So we try to base every day in some kind of activity. When we go to the lake, we're going to talk about water safety, boating safety, and then how to paddle together as a crew and kind of build their stamina.
The students say this may be one of the toughest experiences of their lives, but as the boat starts to take shape, they say they're already feeling a great sense of accomplishment.
And seeing the growth in the student. That's why I became an educator. I think that's why most of us are here. We like to see those aha moments in the kids, and that's what drives us in doing it.
The 70-48 race kicks off June 4th in Tacoma, Washington. Max Roth, Fox 13 News, Utah.
I mean, they're the reason I'm alive, and I just know that.
Still ahead tonight, she nearly lost her life in a car crash in Logan Canyon. Now, this local young lady and her friends are getting the chance to say thank you to the people who saved their lives. July 30th, 2020 was a day that would change the lives of a Clearfield High School senior and her friends forever.
Sarah Fry and her friends were on their way home from Bear Lake when a drunk driver crashed into their car head-on in Logan Canyon. Sarah became paralyzed and ended up losing both of her legs. But this cheerleader and student athlete has not lost her love of life one bit, inspiring so many people along the way.
This weekend, a remarkable reunion as Sarah and her friends met up with the Logan City firefighters and Good Samaritans who saved their lives.
Fox 13's Sarah Murphy shows us the reunion in a story you'll only see right here.
And if not us, it probably would have been someone else.
Tears,
You too.
Hugs and laughter. Emotions ran high at Logan City Fire Station 71.
This is my first time meeting all of these people who helped. I had never even heard their side of the story.
This group of all ages met to remember the one event that ties them all together.
I remember that accident feeling like a dream too.
A car crash.
All I remember is just a loud bang and smoke, and I quickly pulled off the road and got out.
I grabbed my trauma kit from when I used to work on an ambulance and went towards the scene, and that's when I saw the car that Sarah was in is pretty banged up.
It was on this curve that Sarah and her friends were hit head-on by a drunk driver. They say that the people who helped them that night changed their lives.
If they weren't there, I would have been there by myself. With them stuck in a car, I really don't know what I would have done.
They have no idea the impact that it's made on my life. And for me and my parents, these people are definitely angels.
It's awesome when you guys come back. We don't get this very often, but it really is what makes our job worth it. So thank you.
These feelings of gratitude were shared by all.
Getting all of the victims' families together gives them perspective, but it brings us a sense of closure because we can tell them thanks, we can express our love to them.
Our hearts are just full of gratitude for them and for what they did and for being there for our children.
This has been really good to just sit back and reflect and realize that everybody makes a difference.
1, 2, 3.
They all say they walked away inspired.
Proud of you girls.
Look at today's world and, seeing the stuff that's going on, it's easy to lose hope. I truly believe that one person can make a difference, and there's 4 kids here that are going to truly make a difference in this world.
Sarah Murphy, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Well, such a touching reunion there. The driver from the other vehicle just pleaded guilty to 2 Class A misdemeanor DUI charges and 2 third-degree felony DUI charges. His sentencing is scheduled for April 26th.
Now, after the accident, the drunk driver involved in the crash was able to post bail and was out of jail the next morning. Now changes have been made at the state level to prevent that from happening. Governor Spencer Cox has officially signed House Bill 47, also known as Sarah's Law. That bill makes changes to bail provisions for DUI offenses resulting in serious bodily injury or death. It gives police the option of requesting no bail for drunk drivers involved in crashes like these.
An inmate in the Cache County Jail broke out of the facility and was on the run for just over an hour this morning. 37-year-old Cecil Vigil scaled the recreation yard and outer perimeter fences, then ran from the area into fields next to the jail. A perimeter was set up and he was apprehended without incident, even though he had removed his clothing and armed himself with a board.
Now what will happen is there will be a review done. Deputies will get together, there'll be a debriefing. They will talk exactly what happened, what went right, what went wrong. We have to do those to learn, to find out where mistakes were made and where we can do better next time.
Vigil allegedly fired multiple shots at an FBI agent and San Juan County Sheriff's deputies and was arrested last May in Colorado. He's being held in the jail on a U.S. Marshal's hold.
In southern Utah, a hurricane man is dead after being hit by a car overnight. Police were called out around 1 o'clock in the morning to 500 North State Street to do a welfare check. Now, dispatchers informed officers that a 22-year-old man was in the road acting strangely after he was almost hit by a car. While officers were on scene, a car struck the man and then took off, heading south on State Street. The man was taken to the hospital, where he passed away. The vehicle that hit the man is described as a light-colored truck or full-size SUV. If you have any information on this, investigators would like your help. You're asked to contact the Hurricane Police. Still much more ahead here on Fox 13 News at 9. Suicide and depression, these can be tough topics to address. But a new campaign happening here in Utah to try to break the ice. We're going to show you how a new mural in West Valley City is helping make this conversation happen.
Plus, we'll show you how one school district is upgrading their buses with some new technology to make transportation safer and more efficient when we come back. The state of Utah is right in the middle of what is called the suicide belt in America. These western states you see highlighted in yellow on your screen have some of the highest suicide rates in the country. That's according to the CDC. And a large reason behind this is the fact that suicide and depression are not discussed openly.
A new public art and billboard campaign targeting Utah's Latino community to hopefully start a positive conversation about this often taboo subject.
Fox 13's Aaron Cox has a story from West Valley City.
Sometimes art can convey messages more powerful than words.
I love the idea of a mosaic working with mental health because we all come from broken pieces, but when we come together, we make something great.
And with their paintbrushes, Roger Whiting and his assistant Mary Simmons wanted to bring to light a message of hope to what can be a very dark topic.
Usually campaigns are focused on the tragedy of suicide, which it is a tragedy, but this campaign really focuses on the hope and the collaboration and on the importance of family and loved ones.
1 in 5 Latinos experience suicidal thoughts, according to Javier Alegre, the executive director with Latino Behavioral Health Services. A community, Alegre says, that struggles with finding adequate resources.
The number of licensed professionals or certified professionals to provide the support that are native speakers and that are culturally appropriate is very limited. It's very extremely limited, and the waiting lists are very long.
It's why West Valley City Mayor Ron Bigelow and Governor Spencer Cox unveiled the mural, along with their Live On campaign, specifically targeting the Latino community in suicide prevention.
It doesn't mean that you're broken or that you're alone. It actually means that we have a chance to come together and save lives.
Si crees que alguien podría estar pensando en suicidarse, pregúntale. Preguntar no los hace más propensos a intentar suicidarse. Por el contrario, puede salvarles la vida.
Saving lives with support.
It was really cool. Sometimes when we were working on the mural, people would honk to support us as they drove by.
A message painted into the community and hopefully drawn into the hearts of all who drive by.
The mural is very energetic, very positive, and encourages people to communicate with each other and to help each other through the hard parts of life.
Aaron Cox, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Thank you, Aaron. Now, this mural is located on 2700 West between 35th South and 31st South. They're in West Valley City if you'd like to see it. Now, if you or anyone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, just remember there is help out there. You can call the National Suicide Hotline. The number is right there on your screen. It's 1-800-273-TALK.
New technology aboard buses in the Tooele School District. I'll tell you how it works and how it's keeping kids safe, coming up in Tech Talk.
The Tooele County School District upgrading its school buses with some new technology.
Fox 13's Jordan Hogan explains how it could improve safety and is making the transportation department run more smoothly.
Over the past couple of years, bus drivers in the Tooele School District have been getting used to some new technology. It includes GPS trackers on the buses, a tablet, and an RFID scanner that lets students tap on and off of buses using cards.
When they get on the bus, they scan it and it registers to the bus driver, yes, this is their correct bus and this is who the student is.
This also helps bus drivers make sure students are getting on and off of buses at the right time.
It does pop up with an alert saying that the student shouldn't be on this bus or shouldn't be getting off at this bus stop.
This can be adjusted by the driver manually if parents verify changes with the school district. And if a student forgets their card, the driver can add them using the tablet.
The technology on these buses reduces the need for the amount of paperwork. It makes sure people are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it makes sure the kids, most importantly, are safe.
Each bus driver is assigned a tablet which is password protected. The tablets track lots of information, like the kids getting on and off of buses, directions, and details that help with vehicle inspections.
Before I had tons and tons of physical papers that I had to handle. This has eliminated so much of that paperwork. It's already in there.
At the end of each route, our bus drivers, they take the tablets off of the docking station and they walk to the back of the bus and they scan the unique code.
This process reminds the bus driver to check if there are any kids left on the bus. The district says it's hoping to roll out an app to let parents track the bus locations by the next school year. For now, the RFID cards are only being used by kindergartners, but the district plans to roll it out to more students over time. In Tooele, Jordan Hogan, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Spring is officially now here, but we're still getting some gorgeous snow. And up in our mountains, it sure makes for a pretty picture, Bray.
It really does, a winter wonderland. As we speak about the mountains, but the valleys definitely getting in the mix today, where throughout the valleys we saw anywhere from 1 to 5 inches of snow, but it was just dumping up in the mountains throughout the whole weekend. This is a view from Sandy looking towards the Wasatch Mountains. Charles Eddington sending this in, a gorgeous shot there right at sunset, where we're setting the scene here, at least with the storm moving on, and skies are clearing out. But it's going to be a cold night. Temperatures right now in the 30s along the Wasatch Front. In some locations, we'll be getting down into the 20s and even teens. Yes, it feels like winter on this official first week of spring, and we've got more storms lining up, which will have an impact here across most of the state. Now, looking over the past 7 days, it felt like spring last week. Temperatures 50s, 60s, and 70s. It'll be difficult to be climbing out of the 40s and 50s here as we look through most of the week. Finally, though, looks like we do see some 60s in the forecast across northern Utah. Now, current watches and warnings, nothing in effect across the state. We do have winter weather advisories for northern Nevada, getting ready for that next storm, which looks to bring snow once again, both for the valleys and mountains, which again will be pushing through Utah as we look towards tomorrow night into Tuesday. Models showing how much snow is going to fall. It doesn't look too impressive for the northern mountains. Showing you for the next 24 hours, we really don't get things going until tomorrow evening. Most of the snow falling tomorrow night through Tuesday afternoon. As you can see, the range there, maybe a couple inches in Park City, upwards close to 6 inches at Alta. Again, not a big storm, where this last weekend, a lot of the ski resorts picking up 1 foot to 2 feet of snow. So a different story here with this next storm. Now, central and southern Utah, as we're looking at this storm, it looks a little bit more impressive. Potentially looking at least Brian Head picking up anywhere between 5 to 10 inches of snow. But it looks like the whole state getting into the mix here with a chance of showers. Again, this is just not going to be as widespread, as not as much moisture there. But we're going to keep temperatures on the cool side. It's clearing out right now, holding on to some clouds across eastern Utah. Some showers just north of Moab. That'll be fizzling out here over the next hour or so. We did still look at some light snow showers in Sandy and Draper. That has improved here, and just even over the past half hour. Now, as we're looking at that storm moving away, we get a break, drier air moving through, but quickly clouds come into play come tomorrow afternoon. That cold front hitting tomorrow early evening into the overnight hours, and then we start to see that shower threat. Let's first focus in on Monday. No concerns for your Monday morning commute. We start off clear, sunny skies, increasing clouds throughout the day. Temperatures, well, it's going to be cool throughout the morning. We're only into the 30s. Afternoon highs reaching the mid to upper 40s. So once again, we're going to find temperatures close to 10 degrees below normal. Partly cloudy skies throughout the day, but once we hit into the afternoon, you're going to see more cloud cover. You're going to see some winds, and then that cold front getting here tomorrow evening. Now, as we take a look, as we're going to be looking at the possibility of getting more snow up at the ski resorts, for southern Utah, next 7 days, we've got temperatures at least in the 60s starting off. Now, rain is a possibility Tuesday afternoon. It looks like we'll keep it in the 60s up until the weekend, where it looks to be very nice. Any plans that you have for southern Utah? Oh, it's going to be great as we look for the upcoming weekend. Now, northern Utah, we got that hit with the mixture of rain and snow on Tuesday. Now, it starts off with snow Tuesday morning. So morning commute on Tuesday could be a little bit slick there. Thursday, another storm hits, bringing a mixture of rain and snow. These storms kind of are quick movers. They come in as they do leave that moisture and then move away. It looks like it'll be out here for the weekend as temperatures get back into the 60s. But as you can see, for most days, we'll keep temperatures below normal.
Well, Jazz center Rudy Gobert is officially listed as questionable for tomorrow's game in Chicago with a bruised hip, but he sounded optimistic when he talked to the media at today's practice.
It's better. You know, that little extra day was good. You know, I think he should be better even tomorrow. So just a bad bruise, you know, and just want to make sure that it doesn't impact the rest of the body. And it's all about, you know, trying to just fight through it, and it's going to get better and better.
NCAA tournament 8th seed Loyola Chicago took on number 1 seed Illinois in the second round. Keith Clemens scores it for the Ramblers. His sister Jean is loving it. She was there when Loyola Chicago made it to the Final Four in 2018. So was Cameron Kirkwood. Lays it in, Ramblers up by 10. They stayed in front in the second half. Lucas Williamson, bucket and foul, 3-point play, put the Ramblers up 13. Then it's Kirkwood again with the nice finish. Loyola Chicago won at 71-51-8. The Ramblers are in the Sweet 16. 9th seed Wisconsin took on number 1 seed Baylor. Jonathan Chechua with the throwdown for the Bears. Then it's Jared Butler on the break. Takes it right to the rim. And the Bears were up by 11. More high-flying plays from Baylor. The alley-oop to Mark Vital. Bears looking good. Then right before the half, it's ahead to Adam Flagler at the buzzer. The Bears led it by 13 at the half. Baylor stayed on top and put it away with another slam. Baylor won it 76-63. They advanced to the Sweet 16. 11th seed Syracuse took on 3rd seed West Virginia. Buddy Boeheim made his dad proud. Syracuse head coach Jim Boeheim enjoyed watching these threes from his son from long range go down. Here's another big one. Put the Orange up 4 with 5 minutes to play. He finished with 25 points. Syracuse held on to win it 75-71 to advance to the Sweet 16 in another big upset. NASCAR and the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Kyle Larson dominated most of the race, but Ryan Blaney passed him with 8 laps to go. Larson led 269 laps. Blaney led 25, including the most important one, the final lap. To win the race, he's NASCAR's 6th winner in 6 races this season. PGA Tour, Honda Classic in Florida. Matt Wise had an up-and-down tournament on a very difficult course. Birdie putt on the 5th hole for birdie 3 in a row. Goes in. He was 2 shots behind the leader, but boy, he fell back. Australian Matt Jones shot a course record 61 in the first round, and he was in control in the final round. Birdie on the 12th to make up for a bogey on 11. Then on 16, another birdie putt finds the bottom of the cup. He won by 5 shots at 12 under par, his 2nd win on the PGA Tour. Tonight on the Fox 13 Sports page, we'll hear from the Jazz in Chicago, plus the Cougars and Aggies from the NCAA tournament, plus BYU, Utah, and Utah State, all in the football field this spring, plus the Utes gymnastics team after winning a Pac-12 championship. We'll be right back.
Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 13 News at 9. Quickcast is next, followed by the Sports page.